Hi, Peter Jones, Chartered Surveyor, author and property investor, and in this short series of videos I thought it'd be really useful to look at the whole subject around SPVs and using limited companies for buying properties and raising finance for limited companies, because I hear so many people talking about SPVs and I realise when I listen to them talking that there's a lot of confusion around what an SPV actually is and how we use them, and there's also a lot of concern around raising money for limited companies. So the whole thing is sort of a bit of a mishmash, but it's all part and parcel of the same subject, so I thought it'd be really useful just to separate everything out. So let's start by thinking what an SPV actually is. Well, SPV stands for Special Purpose Vehicle. Now, one of the things which I think is confusing to some people is that they imagine that an SPV is actually a separate type of entity in its own right. So, for example, almost as if you could go on to, say, Companies House website and you could look for registered limited companies, and then you could click another tab and find registered SPVs, but it doesn't work like that. An SPV is really a generic name for any entity that you choose for a particular purpose. So an SPV could be a limited company, an SPV could be an LLP, an SPV could be a partnership. I guess in some circumstances an SPV could even be a sort of sole tradership. It doesn't really matter. It's not a type of entity, it's just saying that there's an entity which has been used for a particular purpose. Now, in our world, many people are using limited companies more and more for buying their properties, and limited companies can be an SPV, and that's something which we'll think about probably in the next video. So why are we using more limited companies? Just cover that off, because I think this is all sort of foundational and part and parcel of this. Since George Osborne, back in 2015, decided to have a bit of a go at the private rental sector, and how did he do that? Well, he decided that he was going to withdraw our ability to offset mortgage interest against rents when calculating income tax. The received wisdom has been that buying properties into a limited company helps to get around the effects of that. Why? Because as things stand at the moment, of course this could change in a future budget, and if there's a future change of government then maybe we'll see even stronger attacks on the private rental sector, I don't know. But as things stand at the moment, if you buy into a limited company, limited companies at the moment can offset all of the mortgage interest against rents when calculating corporation tax. So big plus for limited companies. So that's one reason why limited companies have become popular. Another reason why limited companies are used is perhaps if you want to team up with a JV partner. Now, if you want to team up with a JV partner and say the JV partner's putting in all the money and you're putting in all the time and all the graft and all the effort, and so you come up with some kind of 50-50 arrangement, one way of constructing that could be to have some kind of partnership agreement, or it could be that you put together something like a limited company and you split the shares 50-50. So in effect that limited company will then become an SPV. It's a special purpose vehicle. What's the special purpose? Well, the special purpose is to establish a JV with your JV partner. That's the key thing to remember. It's not a particular type of entity. It's not a particular type of limited company. And I know this causes confusion with some people because I've seen posts on forums where people have posted things like, can somebody tell me a lender who will lend to an SPV? It's the wrong question. The question is, can you tell me a lender or recommend a lender who will lend to, and then insert the name of the entity. Can you recommend the name of a lender who will lend to limited companies? Can you recommend a lender who will lend to LLPs? Can you recommend a lender who will lend to partnerships? You see, it's not, an SPV is not a particular type of entity. If you go onto Companies House website, there isn't the capability of setting up an SPV. An SPV is probably going to be a limited company, but it could be anything. It's whatever you're using for a specific purpose. So I hope that clears that up. In the next video, we're going to take this even further. But until then, here's to successful property investing.